that the water tasted of blood. There weren't any cupboards, only repurposed ladders stacked with clothes and books, with a few rungs cleared for me. The man I rented it from was an Austrian ballet dancer who had once been at university with someone I knew vaguely from the London coffee circuit. He was the same size as me, so I wore all his shoes and jumpers, and quickly felt at home as a raven in Kreutzberg's dark flock of Adidases and bad boy sweaters. In the first days there, my existence was narrow. I took the U-Bahn eastward to my German class. The first 2 hours were grammar, then we had our break, and the last 2 hours were dedicated to hearing and speaking exercises. There were only 7 students in the A1.1, the absolute beginners class, and 3 of them were called by some variant of the name Catherine. Katya was from St. Petersburg, unwinkingly referred to her Spanish baker boyfriend as her chorizo. When I first met her, she had thick, waist-long chestnut hair that she played with constantly, picking out split ends or fluffing it up like a restless, glossy sparrow. But after a few months, she bobbed it and looked far more Berlin, though she had lost her gestural preening charm. There was Catalina from Caracas, who had escaped Maduro's communism with her boyfriend, Luis. He was her physical opposite. She, small and dimpled and voluptuous. He, tall, angular and sparse. They were both doctors, but didn't have the license required to practice medicine in Berlin, and so instead worked alternating shifts in the McDonald's on Hermannstrasse, a busy intersection in the working-class district of Neukölln. The old woman from whom they rented a room was intolerant of smells and had forbidden them from cooking anything in oil. Frying was the only kind of cooking they knew. And in those first weeks, they looked so depleted that Katya took to bringing them leftover bread rolls from Chorizo's bakery. And then there was Kat from Sweden, with a fringe clipped to the quick, and an uncomplicated, sexless body. She only became important later. After class, I would ride the U-Bahn west toward home and memorize ladder lists of words in the bedroom. When I was bored, I would go down to Karma Rösterei, the coffee shop around the corner. It was an unremarkable vegetable milk kind of place, though it stood out on the street of shisha bars and kiosks, which all sold reliably average coffee for 1/3 of the price of Karma's espressos. I would go to Karma and order a foamy oat latte, half mortified and half thrilled by my solitude. I memorized sentences that I found poetic. Ich konnte den Glüte des Feuers spüren. I could feel the glow of the fire, hoping to delight future German interlocutors. I repeated slangy sentences I overheard on the U-Bahn. Ich flitze mal zum Spandau rüber. I'm popping by Spandau. I liked the sound of places in Berlin, particularly the consonants of Pankow and Spandau, the ends of the U-Bahn line that to this day remain only names to me. I arrived in a winter I found too cold to walk around in, so for the first couple of months I knew the city in skewed constellations of U-Bahn stops. It was only later, when the weather turned warm quite suddenly on the night of the 3rd of April, that I started to colour in between the lines. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I was describing my routine in those delicate incubative months. After coffee, I would often go to the cinema and practice how to ask for a single ticket. Ein Ticket bitte und ein kleines Schüsses Popcorn. I would always eat dinner.